The Good, the Bad, and the Nerdy. Hosted by Honey Badger herself, Katie May, and the most enthusiastic person in comics, Mike Watson. Hey, what's up, everybody? We're trying something new. Again, this is my idea. I forced Katie into it.
Hi, everyone. Not thrilled to be here.
We're trying something new. Let me see. And there we go. And we want to kind of like mix some live streaming stuff up to give you some images and things while recording the audio podcast, and then, getting up on YouTube, giving you guys the first viewing of whatever we do, whether we make mistakes or whatever. We're just here and we're in it. And I want to try out this new streaming platform. So again, we're still experimenting. We're still trying to find ourselves and figure out what's going on here and how do we do. So I'm excited and Katie is not. So I'm sorry.
Also, you sprung this on me like a half an hour ago.
because if I gave you time, you would have backed out of it.
Probably.
Yes. Okay. So on today's episode, sadly, we're no longer talking Game of Thrones.
I mean, we could.
We could. We absolutely
it's our
could.
show. We can talk about whatever we want.
But we've interrogated and analyzed all 8 seasons and our favorite episodes and our favorite seasons and characters and stuff. So we're about to kick it off with a brand new topic. We'll be doing our quickfire round. We'll be making a change to one of our infamous segments on the show today. And when Katie said it, it only made sense. So we'll probably define that a little bit more. Again, everything's still a work in progress. But our main topic today is going to be Unbreakable, Split, and Glass. Looking at all 3 of these movies, and because there's so much controversy around them, Katie.
I know.
Right? So, I am Mike Watson, the most enthusiastic person in comic books, and that is Katie May, aka Honey Badger, and we are here with the good, the bad, and the nerdy. So, Katie, what are we doing for our quick fire round, though?
So we are doing 2 trailers that came out recently: Terminator and the Jessica Jones trailer for the 3rd and final season.
Okay. All right, so let's get her up there.
Okay, let me get the timer ready. I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock.
Jessica Jones.
We're going to start with Jessica?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I can start.
Okay. And go.
Okay. Jessica Jones season 3 trailer just dropped today, and let me say I'm an avid fan of the Jessica Jones show. I love season 1. Took me a couple episodes to get into season 2, but end up really loving it and enjoying it. Right now, the good for me. Because I'm terrible with names, and that will be an ongoing theme. But Trinity, right here, I absolutely love her. Okay, she's a boss in this show. So seeing her in this trailer makes me happy. But just in general, seeing a Jessica Jones trailer makes me excited. The bad, not very excited by this trailer, like at all. The villain looks very lackluster. Does not pull me in. Does not make me say, "Oh crap, I need to watch Jessica Jones right now." Can't wait. The trailer overall was just pretty dull for me. That's all I got. What about you, Katie?
Okay, so I agree with you about the about the villain, but in this day and age, the cisgender white male is probably the scariest villain ever.
Okay.
So if you take it in that kind of context, he's actually terrifying.
Okay.
And maybe I think some of that dopiness kind of makes him a little bit scarier because you're not expecting it. So for me, the good is I actually really liked the dark tone of the trailer. I liked it seems like it's kind of getting back to season 1. I loved season 1. Season 2 was good, but just not as good for me as season 1. So I feel like it's
Okay.
getting back to that season 1 roots. Um the bad for me is I don't think I love Hellcat. Um it might
Okay.
be she might be a great character. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but from the trailer, it seemed kind of lame. She just got her like head covered with a scarf, and it just I don't know. I was like, whatever, Trish. Uh,
She's lightweight annoying to me. Um, Not a big fan of her. I feel like her character's forced, so I definitely agree with you on that one. Not like when they said first peek at Hellcat, I thought she was because she has money, right? So I thought she was gonna go out, and she's been about this superhero thing for 3 seasons. I thought she was gonna really get a costume.
yeah, she was gonna be like looking like Catwoman or something, like
Something.
something really. But like, I was like, really, this is you're wearing black and a scarf? Cool.
I, I did enjoy the line where Jessica says, "I don't need your help, and you don't need mine." So it's like that's the one thing I really appreciate. She's not telling her, "Hey, go do your own thing." Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to stop you because I know you won't stop. So you don't need my help though. You got powers too. So I like that twist. I like that.
All right, and that is it.
Oh,
Just
we
in time. Great job.
wow. We actually got some back and forth going on that one.
I know, that was good. It felt a lot longer than 3 minutes, but I assure everyone that was 3 minutes.
Awesome. All right. So let me get this out of here. All right, and then we're coming back up on another tasty one. Okay. I'm gonna put it over there. Okay, 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 okay. Oh, I enjoy this so much. So you're getting our timer ready?
Yep. And I can
Uh,
start this one since you started the first one if
all
you
right,
want.
cool. Go ahead.
All right. All right, so full disclosure, I'm not like a huge super fan of Terminator. I've seen some of them. I haven't seen them all, but I've enjoyed the ones that I've seen. The good for me was the first scene that we see Sarah Connor. She comes out and she's just got this crazy firepower, and she's just like calmly kicking ass and doesn't even flinch, doesn't even break a sweat. And I was like, this woman is amazing. I want to be her when I grow up. So that was
Okay.
the good for me.
Hmm.
Totally amazing. The bad, that like black matter morphing thing really skeeved me out. Um, Also, I was like, if they can just like if they get shot or hit or whatever, and they can just morph into this like weird liquid black sludge, like they're unstoppable. How do you stop that? I'm sure there's
Right.
there's a way, but it just was like this is too much.
Okay. We completely agree on the good. I was excited about the trailer. I am a big fan of the Terminator series. I didn't hate the other sequels as much as a lot of other people. But Sarah Connor got out that truck and started pumping them shots into that machine. And I was like, the franchise is back, baby. The franchise is back. Uh, because Sarah Connor's it. Sarah Connor and Ripley, and I'm sure somebody will correct me, but they're the ones that really got it popping for women in action movies. I think that like really, because they stand out. And I'm sure there's probably been other characters that I just don't recall or know of, but like Sarah Connor for me was the first like badass chick that I saw doing it and making shots. Terminator 2, amazing. Um, the the bad for me is why is that robot like why is that Terminator the way it is? How do they keep advancing this Terminator? Like I had more questions about that Terminator than anything. I really wasn't bothered by the shape and the oozing and stuff like that, but I guess I was more bothered by all right. So this is another new complete design. We have a new Mark Terminator. So like, what's the deal behind that? I had a bunch of questions about that pulled me from the trailer, but Sarah Connor pulled me back in. So that's it for me. It looks like we agree on our good and somewhat on our bad for this one, Katie.
Yeah, and just to add to that, a lot of people when they think of the Terminator movies, they think of Arnold Schwarzenegger, but really, it's Sarah Connor. Sarah
Yeah.
Connor, that's her movie. It's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not the Terminator. It is her story.
Hmm. I, I think it's 50-50. I think it's 50. No, I'll give you 60-40 because Sarah Connor was a monster. Sarah Connor was a monster in Terminator 2. All right, she was ridiculous. All right, yeah.
And that's it.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, 2 for 2 on our
Yeah,
fast round.
we
I
did
think
it.
I think it's our new setup. That's what I think it is.
Oh, yeah, sure. If you recall, last week we were uh, early on both of them.
Oh my God, hold on. Sorry about that.
Everyone, he is watching our cast on his phone.
Yes, I'm trying to catch the comments, and I want to make sure it looks good. I'm trying to make sure it's not skipping. I am enjoying this so much. This is also a test for my other show, Dear Creative, that I am fully preparing to premiere next Sunday. Now that the gadgets are working.
Awesome. Very
Okay.
excited for that.
Oh, I'm excited too. All right. So, Katie, I think we need to whip into our main topic, which we will be looking at. Why? What is an M. Night Shyamalan's trilogy? Um, and in a way, he's the first to really get us excited about these comic book movies, really taking a different avenue with that genre. We will be looking at Unbreakable, Split, and Glass. All right, so first up, screen share this boy. First up is Unbreakable. Now, this movie, well, flat out right now, this movie is amazing. It is my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie. How do you feel about it, Katie?
It's not my favorite. It's up there, but I gotta tell you, and actually this leads into my bad, is we rewatched it this week,
Mm-hmm.
and this movie is so slow.
Okay, okay.
So
Well,
slow. Um, and in essence, not much really happens.
okay.
I think what was so great about this movie at the time was it was something that nobody had ever seen before. And it took a very different spin on the superhero genre. And it had that M. Night Shyamalan twist at the end. But it was very slow for me.
Okay. All right. Um, I disagree. I like the pace of it. I think the um because this was like a real, to me it was like a big thing, making it an origin story. We were really seeing how it's developed. We really got to be invested in his family and how this could affect his world, or how it was affecting his world. And it's not just the origin story for Bruce Willis in this movie, it's the origin story for Sam Jackson's character as well, and that build up for it between both of them. I thought that kept me enthralled. Like, I didn't think it was slow because I was so interested in seeing like where that was being developed. So, uh,
And I don't know if that slow feedback was because I was rewatching it. Um, and like I knew what was happening, so
okay, okay,
it's possible. I kind of like I the I watched the other two movies as well, and we'll get into that later. But I kind of felt the same way, where it wasn't as like exciting and shocking as it was when saw it first in the theater.
okay. I can get, yeah, I could see that. I know when I've cut it on, if I've cut it on in the middle of something on cable, like in the middle of it, I'll just watch it from wherever it's at or whatnot. It's one of those movies I can just jump in. But let's go ahead and jump in on the good and the bad of it. So I think we just looked at your. Is that your bad? Is that your official
Yeah,
bad?
that's my official bad, is the pacing, that it was just really slow.
Okay. Um. Okay, my bad. So since we're starting off with the bads, the bad for me is these terrible fight scenes. And I get it. I get it. I think M. Night did a great job setting up the rules for this world, because these rules for his world echo through each one of the films. You can't say that he hasn't established it or anything like that. But these fight scenes are trash. So while I understand why they're the way they are still trash. I don't know if we would have got someone else to choreograph it or add some spunk to it if it would have changed the whole tempo of the movie. But for me, Bruce Willis needs to be throwing some more punches in this film. That's my bad. So,
Okay.
what's your good, Katie?
All right, so my favorite scene is when Elijah is in the comic book store and the proprietor is like, "Hey man, I'm about to shut down. Like you either need to buy something or get out of here." And Elijah's just like kind of comatose and like just not moving in the chair. So the guy tries to move him and he just like basically tears up the place and then the proprietor is like, "All right, I'm calling the police." And then Elijah just reaches into the mess and is like, "How much for this one?" I love that scene. I think it's really funny and I don't know, it says a lot about Elijah, I think.
That is a very good scene. I think that's excellent. That was a good one. That scene shows a lot in Elijah, what his character was going through, and I guess where he thinks he fails, he goes back to the one thing that has always been constant for him, the one thing that's always picked him up, and then what does it do? It gives him an answer. He finds his way. It's his comic books have been his beacon this entire time. That's a good scene. It's a good pick, Katie. Damn.
Thanks.
So the good for me in Unbreakable, Bruce Willis finding this thing and um it becoming real. That moment when it becomes real for him and he's like, "Oh, this is something," and he shares it with his son and he looks back on he's like, you can tell in these in his thought process that he's like, I can do something. I can be somebody here. This is meaningful. I don't have to have this generic job. I don't have to have this. I don't have to have this clock in and clock out and come home and this repetitive routine. I can be something more. Like, I think Bruce Willis did a really good job of expressing that, and that's like that would be my ultimate good for me. Like that was warms the heart so much. All right, so we're gonna move on to our. Unless Katie, you got anything else to say about this one?
No, the only other thing that, and this was like an honorable bad mention, was
Oh,
where he is like going around asking everyone about like how many sick days he's taken, and like it's like, do you not remember? Like, I think you would know if you've been sick. Like, it just was like, seriously, dude, like you have to
mm,
ask everyone. I mean, it was awesome that his boss thought it was like a power play. That part was cool, but it was just like, and then he didn't remember that he didn't actually get hurt in that car accident. Like, I
right.
think if you I didn't get hurt, but you lied about it because you wanted to keep this woman in your life, then that would be
You
something that you would keep close hold, but you would know that. You would
right.
remember that.
Absolutely agree with you. Um, honorable mention for me on a good was his son pulling a gun on him. And he's like, "No, wait, mom, he'll be okay. I promise."
Oh, yeah, yeah. That was good.
Like he was so for real about that, man. He was
He
about to
was
shoot his
so
dad.
confident, so confident.
Awesome. All right, so we are moving on to our next one.
Yes.
Yes, Split.
Oh,
Um,
that's quite the image you got there.
yeah, it is. I wanted a good one. All right. You want to start it off? Start us off for this one, Katie.
Yeah, so I really loved Split. And I think, and this goes into my good. So my favorite scene of this whole movie is actually the very, very, very end scene where David makes an appearance and you realize that this is a sequel. I think this was like the best kept secret in Hollywood. I was shocked. And I tried to keep it a secret too. Like, I'm reaching out to people that I haven't talked to in like years who I know loved Unbreakable, being like, hey, I know we haven't talked in a while, but like, you really need to check out Split. And they're like, this is really random. And it was like, no, like, seriously, you need to watch this movie. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Like, trying to tell people to watch this movie without giving away that the reason why I wanted them to watch this movie. So that was my favorite about just how it was like such a surprise that this was actually a sequel.
Um, I completely loved this movie without knowing that it was a sequel. I enjoyed his performance. Again, you're going to see the running theme is that I am terrible with names. But
James McAvoy is
James Michael,
amazing.
he's amazing in this role. Fantastic. Each little nuance of her character is amazing. But my absolute love, my absolute good in this movie, I gotta agree with my girl Katie. It was the knowing that this was a sequel. That's how you make a movie. That's how you do it. In the words of the Mandarin, you never saw me coming. I didn't. Like, I did not at all see this coming, see this happening. It was incredible. I got so psyched up when it happened. Like, I
Yeah,
was like, oh my God, this is a sequel to
it was
Unbreakable.
it was crazy because like like the moment I saw David sitting there, I was like, oh shit, oh shit, and I'm like start hitting my husband, being like, oh my god,
And,
and then like he confirms it by like, oh, Mr. Glass, and you're just like, oh my god,
and
they did it.
the freaking music as it crept in there and built up, you're
Yeah.
like, no.
Yeah, that was incredible. And back to James McAvoy, I mean, his performance was incredible. And I actually just learned that they had another actor who was supposed to take this role, and he took this role on at like kind of the last minute. And to be able to be like that amazing and develop all of those characters just it speaks volumes about how incredible of an actor he
He
really
is.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, outside of that, him and Magneto are the best part about the new X Men movies. I can care less about anything else in them, but like him as Professor X and Michael Fassbender, I think,
Mhm.
as Magneto, they are the best parts of it. Their acting is ridiculous, and Split just proves it that much more. So we both did our goods. You did your good.
Yeah, I
Yeah. So
started. So let me go with my bad. And I get the reasoning behind why this happened, but I really did not love you know, the whole scenes with Casey and her uncle, and learning that he's like molesting her. And I get it because that's what ultimately saves her, but I just don't like child molestation. It's just a weird quirk that I have.
okay. So we are exact matches here because I didn't care for those scenes either. I'm like, can we get past this? Can we like? And it's not even like they showed anything; they hinted to it. But like, her uncle pissed me off.
Yeah.
Dude was made me upset. So I have to agree with you. We are going to concede here that we have the exact same good and bad here. We're on the same page. All right. All right.
That's amazing because we don't actually discuss any of this stuff prior to casting. We do our own research, we come up with our own good and bad. So that was pretty amazing. I think that's the first time that we agreed on everything.
Episode 7. It happened. Remember it. All right. Next up is Glass. Um, and as an honorable mention, can I mention how I enjoy like each one of these movies are really themed after the characters. Starting it off, I will start off with my bad. While I get it and I understand it, this movie does not have a lot of Samuel L. Jackson in it. And the movie's called Glass, but his presence is felt throughout the entire film, which is kind of a marvel at like how did they do that. Like I still feel his hands working and moving things throughout it, even though he didn't have a lot of screen time in it because you got all three characters in here. So I feel like that's kind of a disservice. The last movie gets to be about him. It's supposed to be his focus, and he really doesn't have a lot of time in it. So that's my bad for this film. What about you, Katie?
So my bad is when James James McAvoy's character kills the nurses. Like, I get that it was a means to an end, but at the end of the day, I felt like they were kind of innocents in this whole thing, and they did try to treat um, Elijah well, and I
Hmm.
mean, to the best of their ability. I know there was the whole like operation thing, but that wasn't their call. They're just doing their job. So
Hmm.
I did not love that they were both the two male nurses were killed.
No. All right, you gotta stand up for those guys. You know, everyone needs someone. Everyone needs someone to defend them. And I guess the only thing I could say about that is that when you've been hurt and you feel pain and you want to lash out, especially when you're not in the right state, you lash out at what's immediately by you, and it was death by association. But you know, I definitely feel what you're saying there. So moving on to the good. Um, and this is why this show is so hard to do because I like, and then we have to kind of like cheat. Well, my honorable mention for bad is this. Um, so the good is it's hard because they all played their roles, they all played their parts, but I'm gonna have to say the good for me is seeing, which is also a personal journey for me in this film, seeing the scope and scale of Elijah's plan. Now, I was enjoying this film the entire time until we got to the end of it, and it pissed me off the way it ended. And again, I had to take a step back and look at the film and talk to myself and say, did I not like it because that's not the ending I wanted, or did I not like it because that's not the way it should have went? But when you look at the evidence, look at Elijah, where he's been, where he's going, that was kind of the only way it could have went, especially in this world where these characters don't even know themselves. So we've got three characters with these powers, with these abilities. The only one who is fully aware and sanctioned is Elijah. The other two are running around with one hand tied behind their back. So how can they overcome any of this if they don't know what they're all about or what the full thing is? So, and Elijah tricking them and making this thing way bigger, um, by going small, genius. I really really enjoyed it, and I know that's why a lot of people didn't like it, because we had these deaths at the end of the movie by losing all these characters. But this trilogy, if M Night ever got to do it again, or this is the great one of the best to me, um, world building movies for, you know, this type of thing that I've ever seen. Because now if they did another movie, they can do anything with anyone because the foundation has been placed here by these three films.
Yeah, and to add to that is, I feel like that Casey, it seemed like she had some sort of ability to like calm people down or
Hmm.
feel how people were feeling just by touching them. Like she definitely had some sort of intuition or something that they really could expand on. And I think it's possible that that David's son might have some sort of abilities too. Like and just with the whole Sarah Paulson, who was also amazing in this movie. Um just touching on like that whole society who go around and try to squash the superheroes. Like, I mean, that's a whole nother world that we can get into. um so yeah, there definitely is huge world building and definitely can continue on. So this isn't the end, um by any means.
Yes, not by any means at all. Um, there was a lot of good things in this movie. Like I feel like her acting was very well. Like that end scene with her, where she just screams. My God, like she was on Dolores Umbridge level for me in this movie, and I
Mm.
hated Dolores Umbridge. I couldn't stand it.
I gotta say, as a Harry Potter nerd, Dolores Umbridge is probably a bigger villain to me than Voldemort. Like she is terrifying because she's that like terrifying of like she'll be seems sweet and nice on the outside, but really she is just stabbing you in the fucking back. Um,
Exactly. I I can give you that because Voldemort's just evil and vile, and you know he's a racist dude. He just wants his magical people on top, and not only that, but he wants the cream of the crop on top. Dolores Umbridge has some serious hate and oh
Well,
god.
and it's kind of like the devil that you know he's bad because like everything he does, everything he says, like he's never nice, but Dolores is like just fake, you know? Just
Yeah.
fake to your face, and that is terrifying to me, and this is definitely not even what we're talking about.
Well, well, we should.
But this is what happens when you mention anything from Harry Potter. I'm gonna go off.
All right. So just know that a Harry Potter series is coming from us. We are
Oh,
huge Harry Potter fans, and that's how like we clicked because of that. So just know that's happening and that's coming. Because oh, I could talk. I could talk and she could talk. We're trying to ease you all into this right now. Okay.
all right. So I actually have not said my good yet.
Oh no, you haven't.
So for me, I mean, there's a lot of amazing things. Like I said, like Sarah Paulson was just amazing in this movie. Um, but I think that what I loved the most is that David had kind of become this like everyday neighborhood hero, just doing like the little vigilante stuff, running his security biz, but like isn't trying to make himself like bigger or badder, like bigger than
Hmm.
life. He's just like, you know what, I'm gonna do what I can locally. And I'm just gonna keep it to that. And I mean, and so Sarah Paulson's character even says, if it I was leaving you alone because this you were just doing your thing, you weren't causing any trouble, but now like I had to get involved because of of the horde and because of Elijah. um they kind of forced him to be part of this when she was basically leaving him alone.
Hmm. Okay. Um, very good point. I enjoy that a lot. Um, we had a lot of things that we chime with on this one, on
Yeah.
this little set. So that is the good and the bad for that. We've done three movies in the M Night trilogy, and now we're coming to our infamous, formerly known as Mary Screwkill, which is now being replaced by which one was the good
Da-da-da-da!
being replaced by which one was the good, the bad, and the nerdy. Um, so we got some feedback from our group of where we have a small number of fans listening to our show, and we wanted to get some feedback from them. So we wanted to switch some things up and change up the name of our little event. We kind of felt that it wasn't gelling with everybody yet, and that's what we want. We want it to be gel. We want it to be memorable. So the name of our show is The Good, the Bad, and Nerdy, and we review three things on the show, so it actually fits perfectly. So, which one was the good? Which one was the bad that we can let go, and which one was the nerdy, which is as essentially Marry, Screw, and Kill, for us. So, Katie, would you like to go first? Because I feel like I talked a lot.
No, you're fine. And actually, I just wanted to kind of piggyback on that real quick. If you have feedback, like we want to hear it. We want this to be a show that you actually want to listen to. We don't want this to just be the show that we think that you want to hear, or just like, we don't love. I mean, Mike probably loves hearing himself talk. I don't love hearing myself talk, but I like to talk about these things, so that's why I'm here. But we want to be talking about things that you want to hear about, and we want to be doing it in a format that makes sense to you and that you enjoy. Like this is for you, this isn't for us. um so anyway, that's my little spiel on that. So please keep the feedback going. We don't get offended, and we take it to heart, and we try to make changes to fit what you guys want. So there's my I'll get off my soapbox now. Okay.
Oh,
All right. So for me, I'm gonna say the good is Split. That was definitely my
okay.
favorite. I love that that is totally a standalone movie. Like even though it was in the middle, and a lot of times the middle movie or book or whatever in a trilogy, it doesn't it's not standalone, and it needs the other parts, and sometimes not a lot happens, but I think Split was amazing. I think it was a great movie. If it was the only movie out of the trilogy that you saw, like, you'd be good to go. You'd be like, that was a great thriller. So that is the good for me.
Okay.
Bad. I know that this is the reason that the series even exists, and it's what kicked it off. But I'm gonna have to say Unbreakable, just because of the pacing that I didn't love, and I enjoyed the others more. So sorry, Unbreakable. I love you, but I love the other ones better. Um, and the nerdy would be Glass, because this is where all the pieces are coming together. It gets really comic book nerdy for sure. And you see Elijah's master plan, you see it coming together. But then on top of that, you see this whole other thing with Sarah Paulson's character, and this whole other side, and this like secret society, and you're just like, so that to me is the good, the bad, and the nerdy.
Oh, all right. So for me, we're gonna say the good. I'm gonna say is so hard. It's so hard. It's so hard. I was thinking about it the whole time while you were talking. I'm gonna go with Unbreakable. Unbreakable is the good because it's what started it off. I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of cool things in it, especially the fact that Alex Ross did the promotional art, designed the character, and you can kind of like see that all in the way Bruce Willis is carrying himself. I really, really dug and maybe even got attached to it. It's kind of like the new Peter Parker for me, this everyday man that gets these powers, trying to fix his family, trying to do what's right. It's a very relatable movie as in far as the things that are going on with it, and that it's so grounded with the comic book aspect as Elijah's narrative and guiding what goes on in it. So I got to go ahead and give Unbreakable the good. And while I did enjoy Glass a lot, I did. It's good. I like the conclusion. I had fun with it. It's a good movie. I'm gonna have to give Glass the bad. Because everyone died. And it hurts.
See, I'm the opposite. I actually enjoy when movies just kill everybody in the end. I'm like, all right, we're done. Wrap it up.
I was I was very attached to Bruce Willis and Split and Elijah and watching Elijah get his dang bones broken again. It
That was pretty
hurts.
bad.
It
Pretty bad.
hurts. And the nerdy, I got to go with Split. James McAvoy did a fantastic job portraying every one of these characters. And the way I hear it, there's tons of footage of him being the other characters they just did not use and they couldn't fit in there. Um,
I think
and
I would watch a whole movie of that.
yeah, just that going on. But that ending to tie it in, and the fact that I had no spoilers, I did not see that coming at all. The way it was set up, and it was like, it's like what The Walking Dead is trying to do with The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, but you're very aware that that's what they're trying to do. You didn't know that was happening here, and Split just revitalized my love for Unbreakable, and I was like, man, I can't wait to see Glass. Now, I did enjoy Glass, although it fell with the bad, but I got to give the nerdy to the Splits.
All right, pretty solid. I thought I was thinking you were gonna go that way.
Did you?
Yes.
Look, don't act like you know me. We've only done 7 episodes of this show, all right?
I know you in my heart.
Okay, we've got a bunch of Cosmic Pedo podcast stuff too.
Yes, that's
Huh,
how this all started.
right. So I think that was a good like examination here. We're here coming up on 40 minutes here. Katie, you got anything that you want to plug?
Um, just we mentioned that we have a very nice little group. It's on Facebook. It's facebook.com/groups/GB Nerdy. You give us feedback if you have anything cool to post. We're usually in and out of there, posting funny things, asking for feedback, asking for people's thoughts on stuff. It's pretty interactive. We'd love to have you on there. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yes. Ask us questions in there. If there's things that you want us to review or talk about, please throw it in there. We will get it up there. Katie and I have a schedule of things that we're going to talk about, but we can fit in what you guys want. We want this show to be to involve you and you guys be a part of it as well. Danny Cooper has some comments here. We've had some people chiming, watching our show throughout.
Oh, dang.
Danny, Danny said, shaking my head, glass the bad. So obviously he doesn't agree with me. Katie says the audio's good, but maybe you can get a little louder on there.
Okay. I'll
Then he
start
says,
yelling.
I'd say Unbreakable. Oh, Danny's going to do the good, the bad, and the nerdy with us here. He says
Oh, okay.
Unbreakable is the good as the start, Split is the bad, and Katie said it can stand alone outside the mythos. Hold up, I got to click the more. And Glass is the nerdy, the love letter. Okay, all right, D Cooper.
Yeah, thanks, Danny, for your feedback. That's super helpful. I just moved my mic, which I guess at this point doesn't matter, but that is good to and we kind of knew that there was something going on with my audio, so we will work on that for next time.
Yes, we shall. Danny's also, aka the Office Geek. He's got a nice little blog that he started on Facebook as well. Be sure to check that out. And I think we're going to work on having Danny have a guest spot on here. I know we talked about Katie's husband because he's a huge Lord of the Rings fan, as I am myself. My wedding ring is the one ring that ruled them all. So that is all very exciting stuff. I will plug. Where will I be at? Oh, hey, we're gonna plug this thing right here, and I'm gonna do it the fancy way because that's what's up. No, that's not it. There we go. Let's Yes, yes! I'm going to Wizard World Philadelphia next week, everybody, and you should come see me. Use Watson20 to save 20% off your admission. I will be doing panels. I will be doing creative stages. We will have comics. We will have prints. We will have good times. I am teaching my first art class there. You will get 10 collectible FSK cards for free, and you will get to make your own card to add to that set. And they're not just collectible cards, it's also a battle card game. So please use my code and tell Wizard World you want me there. It'd be much appreciated. Next month, we'll be at Blurred Con. That's going to be crazy fun. Danny Cooper's coming to that one. But that's all I have to plug. I've enjoyed myself on this episode very much as the smiles have not stopped because I'm enjoying this setup. I think Katie enjoyed it too. I think you enjoyed it, Katie.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
There you go. Danny says the audio is much better now.
Oh, perfect. All I did
Awesome.
was just push on this, so sweet.
If it's a simple fix, that's the best. So I think, well, I'll talk to Katie because she'll probably take some convincing. But this new setup has a lot of features that if we get more people involved in watching the show and stuff, we can have a lot of fun. But watch this episode, listen to this episode, tell us what you think. Again, like Katie said, you're not going to hurt our feelings. We have thick skin. We're good. We're just trying to put on a really good show. So, Katie, you want to tell everybody bye?
Yeah, so bye.
Bye. Catch you guys later. Thanks for tuning in.